Ethereum continues to print a record 7th red week in a row, which has never happened for the Ethereum price. Bitcoin has done something very similar. We had a bit of a relief coming towards the upside, but there's some Ethereum news as well as other things that have me still a little bit worried about what's going on with the Ethereum price in the short term. We jump into the 4-hour chart, then there's some things that are showing for the Ethereum price that still have me pretty alarmed. You might have felt recently that we have been regaining control a little bit after this kind of push back towards the upside, and then this sort of sideways consolidation, but it's happening right here that has me really worried, because if we look back to this time on the 13th of May, after that big drop towards the downside on the 13th of May, around $2,052, we then put in a higher high on the 16th of May at $21.42, and right now we do look like we're putting in another high, but crucially, unlike this, we would expect it to be a higher high. We are now putting in what looks like a lower high, with these large wicks showing that there's some serious selling pressure for the Ethereum price. Potentially now we're going to see a further decline. So in terms of the news that's got me a little bit worried, Ethereum shorts are building up, ETH exchange supply rises. Now the first part of that is not always an alarming thing, because ultimately the game is to kind of catch people going long when they ultimately shouldn't be going long, and also going short when they shouldn't be going short. But it's the ETH exchange supply that is rising that is causing more concern, because obviously the higher the supply, the less the demand, and ultimately then the price is likely to start dropping. I've seen other things about news in China with regards to lockdowns and things in China easing up and lockdowns ending. Actually, the lockdowns in Shanghai, etc., expected to go on for another month. Also, situations in Beijing, not that great. So things still looking a bit scary with regards to COVID and the lockdowns and things that are happening in China, and obviously that has a huge impact on the market. Obviously a lot of the trading volume, etc., still comes from China, even though it's sort of frowned upon, not really allowed in China. So on-chain data by Sentiment provides us a glimpse into what could be the next Ethereum price move. The data provided noted that an 8-hour chart that there have been heavy shorts building up on the Ethereum at $2,000. So ultimately, if the price starts going lower and lower, then we could maybe start to see people taking profits on their short positions, but ultimately that's putting more and more selling pressure into the Ethereum price, which ultimately means I think we are due to have lower drops coming in the near future. And if we look at what's happening into the Bitcoin chart, similar things playing out. Obviously we've had some sort of a relief rally, and again we were putting in these higher highs, but ultimately right now we appear to be putting in these solid wicks, and we've now had a big sell-off, pushing the price of Bitcoin in a very short space of time from around $30,500 all the way down to $29,500, which is where it's currently sat. We can see that we are in some sort of a rising pennant or rising wedge pattern, and ultimately if it does find support here, then we'd like to see higher lows continue to get put in, and potentially we would then see a high up towards these levels at around $32,500, which is in line here with the previous areas of resistance, which stop the price regaining itself. But not until we're closing about 33k or so will Bitcoin be stable, and ultimately every other cryptocurrency is at the risk of dumping towards the downside. You can see now this line appears to be our upper resistance, so depending on where that plays out, we could potentially see something like this unfolding, and maybe a drop towards $25,000 again for the Bitcoin price. Now looking at Ethereum, obviously we did have this little blip up on the 16th of May where we did cross this line here, but ultimately this area around $2,120 is a bit troublesome for the Ethereum price in the shorter term, and ultimately we have been forming this ascending triangle. If we are to drop out the bottom of this, then we're going to take the height of this triangle and we will take our price target from there, which will be around $1,723, which pretty much coincides with this low here, which was put in the other day. And as well as that, jumping out to the daily, you can see that that brings us in line with this larger falling wedge pattern. So ultimately don't expect right now that we're going to see Ethereum just storm back up and recover overnight, because I don't think it's going to really happen, guys. We could well slide down to around $1,600, see a bit of sideways action before maybe making some sort of a push like this. And looking at this, guys, this is the daily chart. So to get across to the other side of this pattern, you know, that could take some time. This looking into June, into July, and then August. You know, who knows exactly when things are going to play out. We can only look at the data we got in front of us in terms of the different levels and things for the Ethereum price. Now, something else to pay attention to, guys, this is the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart on the daily, and right now we are at very crucial levels. Now, you might not think this chart's particularly important, but because Bitcoin has such a large market cap compared with Ethereum, When Bitcoin is going up, obviously Ethereum goes up too, more aggressively. So in a bull market, Ethereum will always outperform Bitcoin, and vice versa. In a bear market, Ethereum will always do worse against Bitcoin. And right now, you can see that we are playing on this lower trend line, which is indicating to me that if we're unable to hold here, that's going to indicate more bearish action from both Ethereum and Bitcoin, and we could potentially then see ourselves pushing back down to this level of around 5.4%, currently sat at around 6.8%. However, if we were to call this, there's always the chance that this is going to hold here, and if it does hold, then we could potentially see a push, and this could be indicating that we are going to see a bit of a turnaround. But right now, this is looking at the daily. It's very key what's going to happen in the next couple of days, in my opinion, with regards to the Ethereum price and the Bitcoin price. So all is hanging in the balance right now. We're definitely not home and dry by any means. If you're looking to load up in crypto, then probably some reasonable times to do it around now, because price is obviously heavily discounted where they were a few months ago. That said, obviously you could see a further dippage. Ethereum could take another plunge down towards $1,700 in my opinion. If it does that, obviously I'm going to go in and buy more, but right now also a good accumulation time. It's all about dollar cost averaging, guys. If you buy a little bit now, it drops further, you can buy more, brings your prices down, etc. But we'll see exactly what's playing out. There's a lot of uncertainty with regards to what's happening in the world right now. But one thing I want to point out, guys, is the DXY, or the dollar index, which we've been talking about for a while on this channel, because the dollar index has obviously been pushing, and that's causing a big squeeze on crypto. But right now you can see the last 3 days have been red for the US dollar, which we've not seen since back in March. And we are sort of starting to see a bit of a decline from around 104, currently sat at around 103.58. If we are to drop and break this low here at 102.3, then we could well be signaling a big bear market for the DXY, which would be awesome for crypto, because obviously as the dollar weakens and crypto like Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., all against the US dollar, that could mean some very exciting things for the cryptocurrency markets. But until we see that, guys, we're still maintaining a little bit of support here. It does look like it's cooling off, but that could just be a little drop like we saw here, where we go straight back up tomorrow. So let's play out and see what goes on tomorrow. I'll bring you another update tomorrow. If you got some value out of today's video, then please smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It helps me out more than you know. And if you're new to the channel, you own Ethereum, Bitcoin, or other cryptos, and you want to learn more, or you want to know about different crypto coins to invest in, then make sure you subscribe to the House of Crypto. And I will see you tomorrow with another video. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.